talk about Tales of the Underworld yet. We're gonna do that today.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Haunted Marauders podcast and Haunted Marauders Live. I'm joined here by this Underworld slime of Matt and Jamie. How you guys doing?
What a demotion.
Doing well.
You've been that was great.
Thanks.
Great intro. For our audio listeners, it was Jamie walking towards the camera. Then
Thank you.
Cover Underworld and then walking away.
The very long, Cad Bane approach from Book of Boba Fett, you know? Was that, you know?
From the Here Comes a Stranger. That was great. Except this is from your front lawn comes a stranger.
Maybe. It was somewhere. That's for damn sure.
How many cars did you get looking at you during that?
I was trying to not look at them, so I can't answer that question.
Wow, you did this solo.
With the audio.
Yeah, I was at work. I don't know.
So.
Damn.
Yeah, it is what it is. I don't know if you noticed as well, but I did a little Quinlan Voss makeup as well.
I did.
Probably wasn't showing that well, but
I noticed you did something to your face.
I did something. It wasn't the usual face, that's for sure.
You didn't want to go blue?
I don't have blue.
You want to go full blue? Oh, no blue.
I don't know. We're not doing Big Fat Liar tonight, so
why not?
Jump in a swimming pool with the dye in it.
That's gonna be another recap episode.
Listening to
Hungry Like the Wolf.
Hungry Like the Wolf. How many takes did that take you?
I only did it twice, and that was the second take because that's just how it goes. Because the first one I wasn't looking down mysteriously the entire time, and I was like, I think we need to be looking down mysteriously for the entire walk.
I think it would have been incredible if you just kept full eye contact with the camera the whole walk. And
I would have
taken one step a second.
I would have managed to probably trip if I did it that way. So,
dude, honestly, same.
You get
if my eyes aren't looking in front of where I'm walking, at the ground where I'm walking, I trip all the time.
I'm coordinated, but then some days I feel like I'm straight up not because I will trip over a flat surface. But I could tap dance easily, so go figure.
Matt has two left feet.
It does not make sense.
I do, literally.
Two flat left feet. Let's be
two
left hands.
I've got two Donald Duck feet. Yeah, and two left hands.
For feet?
Oh, twins.
Twins.
So what's in the news? What's in the news?
What's in the news?
Star Wars wise. Coca-Cola.
Star Wars wise. Okay, yeah, Coca-Cola.
Yeah,
that's a big thing lately.
It's everywhere.
You love the soda partnership.
I do. So I don't think we've been able to talk. I know we did talk about this already, probably a couple weeks ago. See, the multi-week, the bi-weekly setup really messes me up because we feel like we don't see Matt as much because we cut our Matt time in half.
Yeah,
in half.
But that was a blessing. But here we are.
Well, it's I talked to you the other day, and I was like, "Oh, when are we hanging out next?" And we're like, "I don't know." And then it's it feels like we don't really see you as much because it's every other week, twice a month, not 4 times a month.
I know. That kind of stinks.
Which is funny we're complaining about it because we set our own schedule for this, so we could do whatever we want. But
if we do this once a week, oh my goodness!
I know.
By the beginning of September, we're going to be talking about friggin' toenail clippings. Who the hell knows?
Do people want us to do it once a week?
I mean, if you do, tell us in the chat if you want to hear about,
but not about
toenail clippings.
You want to hear about our toenail clippings?
Watto's toenail clippings.
Ooh, okay. This took a turn immediately.
Koidarian toenail clippings.
Yeah.
So that's what Leia looks like. Because we were talking about that the other day, and I was like, I don't know what the Leia.
We switched to talking about the Coca-Cola cans. Just FYI.
Oh yeah. I forgot what Leia looked like actually.
For you audio listeners. So, yeah, we're here tonight to talk about the Coke. We're here to talk about the Tales of the Underworld. A few months late.
Yeah,
but,
I didn't think we were going to ever get to this.
Better late than never, I would say.
It's exactly. When it came out, it was the May 4th release this year, and we were all busy on May 4th, and then it was a busy weekend immediately after. Matt was away, we went to PAX, a lot happened personally, and then time just went on, and we're we still haven't covered this. So we got to go back and actually talk about it. So
I was in Disney World for May the 4th, but we did manage to watch them at Disney World, which again was 2 months ago. Yeah, just a little over 2 months ago. I haven't watched them since, so this is going to be a challenge. I'm
You
ready.
didn't do a rewatch?
No, I didn't do a rewatch.
Jamie and I did last night.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I think I remember things. So
Why didn't you do a rewatch?
I didn't have time. It's been
So
a busy week.
we did the initial watch actually on I can't speak tonight. We did the initial watch over on Fortnite.
Fortnite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
They released the first 2 episodes in like the Fortnite metaverse on like the Friday before, because May 4th was like a Sunday this year. So they released the first 2 episodes, and so we're watching it like in the cantina casually, and then we watched it proper after. But yeah, that was something.
Yeah, I remember
That
you
was
messaging
something.
me on like May 2nd or May 3rd, and you were like, "Oh, the new Star Wars Underworld, Tales of the Underworld is pretty good." I was like, "How the hell did you? How do you know that?
Yeah,
Where
of
were
course.
you getting from?"
access.
AJ was like tearing it up with the Fortnite Star Wars this past month, I gotta say, or back in May. He was
fun.
all on top of it. And then the moment it turned to be like Superman and superheroes, he's like, I like Superman, but he hasn't touched it since.
I wouldn't even say I like Superman. I mean, he's fine. I want to see
like
the new movie
Superman.
and all, but like,
I was
Matt,
giving you
a
the
month
benefit
ago,
of the doubt.
you were like, one at a time. Matt, a month ago, you were like, "Oh, I don't care about Superman." You probably like
Who
looked
said
at one
that?
thing. You did. You did. I have you on record.
Yeah, sure you do.
No, you
Now, ever
definitely
since,
did.
dude, I started watching Smallville, and that has really
Right.
turned my attitude around. And I watched the Christopher Reeve 1 and 2, July 4th of July and July 5th.
You've never
Dude,
seen
those
them?
movies kick ass. I
They
had,
do.
but way back in the day. So rewatching them now, I was like, whoa, these movies hit hard, especially the first one. The first 45 minutes to an hour of that movie is like some of the greatest cinema ever made. Star Wars, eat your heart out. You've got Superman 1978 to contend with, which is literally just like ripping off Star Wars.
You got John Williams too. So
literally
like,
John Williams, like Planet Krypton, like this epic. Oh, I was like, wow.
I'm gonna get my charger.
So I've turned around on Superman a lot lately.
Not to derail us since AJ walked away though, but since it is the first or the second one, the one where it must be the first one. Like they end up going out west and there's like the dam that breaks, and then like Lois is like trapped in a car, and then like
with the dirt. She gets like the worst character death I've ever seen in anything ever. I was like, Jesus.
For some reason, we were like rewatching that sequence recently, and I was also just laughing my ass off at Lex Luthor's like Grand Central Station, but not like
what
later.
Gene
Like,
on with that?
It's Gene Hackman. Like what?
Gene Hackman is
You'll never top Gene Hackman.
See, I was telling my parents this the other day. The more I learn about Lex Luthor, the less Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor makes sense as Lex Luthor, but he's still so good.
He's the best. He's the best.
That it doesn't matter. He's fantastic, but he's not Lex Luthor as we know him. He's like a new, like just like scumbag, like not scumbag Lex Luthor. They're all scumbags.
That's my Lex Luthor.
He's like dirtbag Lex Luthor.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Exactly.
I'm seeing Superman on Saturday. Could not be more excited. I'm midway through season 2 on Smallville, and it's one of the greatest shows ever made. That's all I'll say.
Let the record show though that
doesn't show
Matt
that.
did not give a poop about Superman.
You got to produce the proof.
About it. It was during your Batman phase. We talked to Landry Q. Walker.
That was forever ago.
Yeah, and then he was giving you recs about Batman comics. I remember that. He gave you the laundry list of Batman comic recs.
And then you said you don't really care for Superman, and he was like, "Huh." So that
and then he told me to watch the animated series, and ever since then I've been working on it. I've never been against Superman. It was just like I wasn't on the Superman train. I was on the Batman train.
Yeah,
and they could not be more different.
That's the point, you know?
Yeah, that's what makes them special.
Batman's the best.
I do still think Batman is my favorite DC character, but Superman is good.
Batman's the best superhero.
No, that's Spider-Man.
It's actually Spider-Man's good. Spider-Man's good.
Spider-Man's the best.
I'll give you that. This is the superhero episode tonight.
So, we were actually going to be talking about Tales of the Underworld tonight, but we got derailed into Superman chat for some reason. I don't remember how, but it's okay. It's okay. It's on the brain. It's on the brain. This is what we get again for not talking in like 2 weeks.
And then in 2 weeks we can talk about Fantastic Four. Ooh. Don't F me. Fantastic Four is one of my all-time favorites. Anyway,
we're a Star Wars show.
We're Star Wars. We're Star Wars.
So I want to go back and talk about Tales of the Jedi and Tales of the Empire before we get to Tales of the
Yeah.
Underworld.
Okay.
So Tales of the Jedi, not to full length, but like Tales of the Jedi was our introduction to the Tales stuff that Star Wars is doing.
Mhm.
And it was very good. We got the Dooku stuff, which was awesome, and we got the Ahsoka stuff. And if I
Which
remember
was Ahsoka
correctly,
stuff.
the way they formatted it, now that I'm thinking of it, was every other episode was like you got a Dooku episode, and they all came in at once, but you got a Dooku episode, then you got an Ahsoka episode, then you got a Dooku, and like remember they alternated? That was a
It was
thing, right?
it was every other and then 2 and 2. It was weird.
That's what
Yeah.
I was thinking. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was swap, then the final 2 for Dooku, the final 2 for Ahsoka.
Why did they
Yeah.
do that?
I don't know.
Well,
And then
like the
They were
first
just trying
2
something out.
were like isolated stories of like the 2 of them, because like the first one for Ahsoka was like baby Ahsoka.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then
True.
the first one for Dooku was young Dooku
Baby
with
Dooku.
Qui-Gon.
baby Dooku.
Baby Dooku.
No. Adult Jedi Dooku, but with
I wish we
Qui-Gon
got
on
baby
the
Dooku.
Blackwater planet, which was a great episode. And then the other ones were like continued stories that were like 2-parters of like the character that you know. Like
Yeah.
Right.
as
Yeah, you're right. Because like the Dooku was a 2-parter, deleting the archives, right? Like
and
during
then
episode
everything at
1,
Yaddle.
That
and
was
then
awesome.
killing Yaddle, and then Ahsoka was just training and Padme's funeral. So yeah, I mean they sort of tie in together. Can't really do baby Ahsoka and baby Dooku.
Right. So they went in order, which was it was a choice. It worked. It
Yeah, I
it
guess
made
it is
sense.
chronological
I mean,
order now that I think of
Yeah.
it. I hadn't thought of that.
For Tales of the Empire, they also did they alternate as well? I don't
I
remember.
don't think so.
Okay, Tales of the Empire really just kind of blurred together for me because that was like also a May 4th release, and that was just very like
We watched that together, and
We
then
did
it was
watch that
literally like
together.
at the end we were like, okay,
okay,
all right.
like
The highlight was
All
Mole
right.
Man. All the Mole Men.
Ooh, you're right. Loved the mole guy. The mole guy who shows up with Barris, or he's like guarding Barris. He's the guy who like takes
He's
you to
guiding the
Barris.
people to Barris, which
Yeah.
is the
you know, I
hero.
remember you guys getting excited about a Mole Man, which is funny because I don't remember this Mole Man, but I remember you liked him a lot, and he was better than Kenobi Freck.
I mean, look,
that's all.
it's an easy guess to guess that me and AJ are going to flip out about a mole man because we love mole
Yeah.
men. That's how
This
it
guy
works.
was more so hedgehog man than Mole
Yeah, he
Man.
was. Yeah,
You know.
he was more of a what are those called? A shrew.
Oh,
He was
Okay.
shrewman.
Truman.
It was the Shrewman show.
Oh man, I was gonna say
okay.
it. So yeah, Tales of the Jedi, very good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Tales of the Tales of I can't
The
The
Empire.
Empire.
Tales of the Empire. Not
It's a thing.
as
a bit
good.
baby Dooku.
It
A bit.
exists.
It was all
Yeah.
right. It was the Morgan
Didn't love
Elsbeth stuff. Whatever. And I'm not a guy who's like, ooh, Thrawn, and starts drooling a friggin' waterfall. I don't care.
Young Thrawn, baby
really
I
Thrawn.
mean,
about
like,
Thrawn.
yes,
baby Thrawn. Baby,
Like,
dude, why aren't we making
baby
Tales of the
Thrawn.
Babies? Why aren't we making Tales of the Babies? And it's just
We
a bunch of
basically
like
are.
baby adventures.
We get baby Cad Bane almost.
We do
Yeah.
get baby Cad Bane. You're right.
Hey, Cad Bane.
And then we get Cad Bane's baby. Anyway,
Yes. Who would have
so
thought?
there you go.
Not me.
Cad Bane is always about babies, whether it's his baby or he's stealing babies. He's always
He's
stealing
always
hates
babies.
a lot
from
with
them.
kids.
Dude straight
Yeah.
up hates babies.
I know
And
he
Boba.
does.
He hates babies and Boba.
Who's
Uh,
like half the time he knows them, so
that's true.
Imagine if he met baby Boba.
Ooh, baby
Would have been all
Boba.
over.
Baby Boba. That's fun to say.
So we got Tales of the Underworld, obviously, this past May, and yeah, as Jamie said earlier, it came out during Andor, right?
Yeah.
Well,
literally.
it came out in
Like,
the middle of Andor. We had like 2 weeks left of Andor, so we were like,
Yeah.
we can't stop that momentum, and like
Right.
we watched it and then just kind of like put it aside, and then we're like, we'll get back to it. There's too much happened in May, and then
dude, yeah,
too much
right?
happened in June as well, and then we're like, you know what? We still haven't done this, so let's do this.
But
Too
it's
much
like
happened and nothing happened all the same.
they
time.
like
Exactly.
they did like 3 things in May for Star Wars, and then nothing for the rest of the year, like
I know.
except for Visions in September. That's it. That's all we got. I feel like they shouldn't have released both things in May, but hey,
Yeah, but they wanted to drop something special on May 4th, and I get that. I get
Yeah.
that.
I suppose. Sure.
What are
But-
you, like, ungrateful?
Yeah.
I
Oh,
am.
you're giving me too much stuff. Oh, it's not
Spread it out.
fair. Spread it out. You're giving me
So-
too much on my birthday. Save some for Christmas.
So we get a tale about Ventress and we get a tale about Cad Bane, two legendary animation Clone Wars characters, really, right?
Yes.
So very good. Like both very good. I think this season, I guess, do we call it a season? This version
Yeah.
of Tales
Yeah.
was up to par to Jedi, if not better. With Cad Bane. I think the Cad Bane story, and we'll get to that after. I think we'll do Ventress and Cad Bane, but the Cad Bane story might be the best Tales story. I not even might. For me, it is. Hands
I think
down.
it is.
I still might like the Dooku one slightly better, but honestly, Cad is a close second. That was a really, really good arc.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did it so well.
We'll get into it. The 3 episodes for the CAD one actually were like, all right, here are the players in each episode, and like it carried on the entire time.
Yeah.
All of the other ones, it was just like, oh, here's just the one main character, but it's not like it was someone else with them the entire time. Like I thought that was super interesting for like the CAD one. But let's talk about the Ventress one, you know?
Yeah.
Right,
So
yeah, let's talk about the Ventress one.
It starts off. I mean, the beginning of the Ventress one is like the best part of all of it. I mean, it's Dark Disciple.
It's the ending of
adapted.
Dark
Yeah.
Disciple. Like,
which is nuts.
hold the phone. Like when we were just like rewatching this the other day, I looked at AJ and I was like, imagine like watching this and not knowing Dark Disciple exists, because you have Obi-Wan, first of all, standing there, who we haven't seen in Clone Wars animation since the season finale of the Clone Wars. And then Quinlan Voss, who is in barely a handful of Clone Wars episodes and is barely known. And then he audibly says to one of the main villains of the Clone Wars, I love you.
Do we even see that it's her? I mean, I guess you can guess from the thumbnail.
Yeah, you can guess. But like, it's just, imagine not knowing Dark Disciple and just getting thrown into this and being like, holy.
Oh, that's great.
Shit.
He's in love with the mummy.
It was just so wild, and like the scene itself was gorgeous and like very, very slightly different than the book. Just there's like more stuff going on, and it's them walking away. But like, holy smokes, it was great, and like I wasn't expecting us to actually get that, and I'm kind of like really upset that our first viewing of it was through Fortnite, because people are like jumping around and everything the entire time. Like, and it's like
this super emotional scene and somebody's hitting the gritty.
Hey, we chose it.
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to watch. No, but that's like literally what happened. It was super emotional. We chose to like watch it this way, and someone is literally just doing like the dances like next to the screen, and we're like, oh my,
get out of here!
This is too much. Like,
it's like
I
trying
to feel things.
Get out of here.
I understand that like young people's attention spans are like they need like a million things going on like at once, but sometimes I just want like the one thing. And like anyway, so in watching it, rewatching it, I'm just like, man, I can't believe it. Like I still just can't believe that we saw that scene alone, and it was just so cool.
Yeah. As a big Dark Disciple fan like yourself, I was like, oh man, Jamie's gonna love this.
I mean, everyone loves Dark Disciple. Everyone that's like,
well, I haven't read it. I mean, I like the
Dark
idea.
Disciple loves Dark Disciple.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be really good.
It's so good. I talk about it all the time. This I very rarely like tab out with like the little flags like Star Wars books. Very rarely in general with books. It literally, this and A New Dawn are like the only two that I have ever like tabbed out.
Dude, I'm reading a book. I like try not to do anything. Like I'm literally like flipping a page like so carefully and like trying not to crease it and like doing all this stuff.
I can't help it, you know?
You want to keep it really nice.
So okay.
I like to keep books nice, yeah.
The thing with so it brings up the question of like some of the existing like book or comic adaptations into like the animation, because they've done this a good handful of times now. Like we know in the Tales of the Jedi,
I'll read it,
they
guys.
adapted the Ahsoka story. Yeah, Matt, you better read this book.
I'll read it. or
We
listen
know
to
that
it.
in Tales of the Jedi they adapted the Ahsoka book, and they pretty much changed it, and it was
Mm.
just kind of like, meh. And it's just like, with
It
this
stinks.
one though, the scene was still the same. Like the outcome of Dark Disciple was still the same, in which like they literally were in love with each other. Quinlan Voss did follow the dark side, came back, and then she died, and
Oh, is
then
that what
Assajj
happened? Oh,
dies.
I don't need to read it then.
Well, I mean, I think it's
I'm kidding.
abundantly clear.
I
Um,
know the
it's so
basic
good.
story beats.
It's so good. And so at least in this one, they like literally took the actual thing, didn't change anything. We're just like, all right, here's a visual of what happened and what happened once Ventress went into the pool. And man, Night Sister magic is so spooky in a
Night
good
Sister
way.
magic is crazy.
It's so good.
They just brought her back from the dead. They could just do that.
So
Night
Yeah.
Sisters don't care.
my
Well, they care a
question
little.
is, did I just hear a smoke alarm beep?
Yeah, you did. Wasn't in my house.
There was a squeak, but it wasn't a smoke alarm.
What squeaked?
I think it might have been my chair. It definitely wasn't a
Oh,
smoke alarm though.
All right, keep
Okay.
your ears out.
We had an
we had
issue
an issue
last
with
week.
that.
Oh,
But
really?
anyways,
But
Oh,
we're not
yeah.
getting into that.
It sounded like a smoke alarm on my end. Anyway,
it did. So, she I almost had to do an Always Sunny reference, but I'm not gonna. So
it's Frank. in the basement.
I'm in Dark Disciple. In Tales of the Underworld here, she gets a choice from Mother Talzin. Like join the dead and join her sisters, or like give up her heart's desire, which is Quinlan.
Yeah.
But what does that mean in this case?
It means you're never going to find Quinlan again. I mean, I guess you could.
Well, it
But
was
the whole point is like you have to give up or let go of your attachment to him to continue
have a
living.
chance at life again. That's what it was.
So what if she
'cause it
was to see him again?
I think that it's pretty damn
She just
clear
drops
that like
dead.
no,
I think he's
that
actively not actively trying to avoid him, but she's not searching for him, and it's
Yeah.
a big galaxy, you know.
Right. Even though she like the whole arc is him searching or her searching for him, and then it's like, I'm good actually.
Well, the arc is her
not, though.
searching for the path to get,
to
Dingus,
offload the kid.
Dingus Wingus.
Yeah, so like she's not searching for Quinlan. It's if anything in that moment, it's kind of like yeah, she thinks about him, but it's not. She's actively not searching for him, and so she finds out that he's even alive because like
Yes,
it all
Wingus.
takes place like post 66, right? Because the
Yeah.
very beginning is some point during the Clone Wars, towards the end, but during the Clone Wars, and so like at that point in time, she didn't know that he was even still alive, and so like in that moment, she like is thinking about it, but she's more so concerned with offloading this kid, this Jedi kid, that she's like, I want nothing to do with this guy. Like, let's actually send him away and do what he wants to do, and like I'll do my own thing and like avoid, possibly dying by like finding the love of my life again.
Right.
Yeah.
Um,
But I think it's
Yeah.
one of those things. I mean, we're back to letting go of attachment to live. A very classic Star Wars trope. I mean, that is the Star Wars trope. So I can assume that Ventress has kind of let go of Quinlan. She doesn't really want or care to search for him anymore because she's on a new mission, a new path.
But how does
So it's
what if she does see him? Is my question.
Then it's like passing
That's broken.
passing a stranger. No, it's just like, you don't really it's not going to be a big deal to her, if she
You think?
sees him.
I think
But
that
they
also,
recognize each other.
They'll recognize each other,
okay.
but she won't. Go ahead, Jamie.
Okay, so I got a couple thoughts on this. First of all, it's complicated, but second of all, Quinlan knows all about as much as he can about the Night Sister magic from what Ventress told him, and he knows that like there's some shady shit going on all the time. And so like I feel like if he was to actually see her at some point in the future, he'd be like, if she is actually standing in front of me, she must have done something at some great cost, and I should not intervene. And like I think that he would respect that as well. So like even if like they did see each other in the future, I feel like he would just be like, I wish, but I can't because I know that you made a choice. And
I don't quite think it would be like two strangers passing, but
No,
I don't know. I mean,
not literally. Like they would recognize each other, but it would just be like
It wouldn't be
Hey.
No Way Home.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it would not be. It would not be like that. It would be more like, "Hey, how's it going? How's your life? Cool. I'll catch you later."
Yeah, that kind of thing. I don't know, because it's either Mother Talzin literally is like, oh, join your sisters in death for the rest of time, or have the chance at life again if you give up your heart's desire, which is just, I guess, her love
My
for him.
other follow-up
So,
question to that
mhm.
is, why do you think she chooses life? I mean, other than like the obvious reasons, I guess, because you would want to be alive rather than dead, I guess. But
I don't really know.
why?
Well-
Why? What is her goal right now in the Star Wars galaxy? And what is she immediately chose life? And it was
I
like almost
think
as if she chose life because like she wanted to go after Quinlan, but she, as in doing so, she knew she couldn't.
Which I
So,
think
like,
in the moment it might have been that of just be like, hey, I have the chance to like go like follow him and be with him again. But then like as it like sinks in, it's just more so he really has given her a new chance at life. I mean, like with the full context of like Dark Disciple, like she goes through so many like ups and downs like along the way. Of like the Jedi forgiving her, then not forgiving her, and then kind of forgiving her. Because like at the end, it's literally Obi-Wan standing next to Quinlan Vos, and so like if Obi-Wan has trusted him enough, that is like more than enough. Of hey, like she did actually like get like redeemed. It goes back to the whole redemption thing, you know, of just like she did die, but like she has another chance at like doing things right. So
yeah, born again.
and Quinlan Vos literally gave her that chance, and so that's why. So
And so, how does Mother Talzin mentions like the Jedi gave you this gift? So it's not necessarily a night sister power that brings her back to life. It's whatever their bond was, and whatever he says in that moment that kind of generates that, right?
Does she? I that's what she says.
Yeah.
The Jedi gave you this gift.
We could have done the rewatch, Matt.
yeah, I mean,
You told me about this on Tuesday.
It's a touch of both. It's a touch of both because like Ventress has like the Night Sister magic, but like she was also once upon a time trained as a Jedi and then trained as a Sith, and so like she has like all of that training, and then she gets to experience having the love of someone else as well. When it's Force users, it's like it's much more deeper.
The quote I remember Mother Talzin saying is, "The Jedi has given you this gift, whatever that is."
The Jedi has given you this gift. So it's Quinlan. You're talking specifically about Quinlan.
Yes, of course. Well, but I was quoting her, yeah.
So are you talking about like, so what is the gift? The gift is Quinlan.
The gift is redemption in life and second chance.
And Quinlan had the sense to literally bring her back to Dathomir and put her in the fucking pool. And so like that's what the gift is. Quinlan was smart enough to like
another explicit episode for Spotify.
I'm sorry. Like that's what it is though. Quinlan was smart enough to be like, hey, she deserves the proper burial here. Yeah, it's always me.
It's always Jamie. And last time we had Hannah on, Hannah was saying something, fairly explicit, and was like, "Oh, Jamie won't want to hear this." But Jamie swears like a sailor.
It's always me. I'm sorry.
Sometimes, dude, half the time when I get off these, I'm like talking to my mom, and she's like, "I wish you wouldn't swear so much."
I'm
sorry, Mom, you're definitely watching right now, and I did a terrible impression of you. But
I'm sorry.
No, specifically me. She doesn't care about you, or she doesn't care about your swearing.
I feel like the emphasis was needed for this one though, because I think
he put her in the gosh darn pool, AJ. He put her in the freaking pool.
In the pool. She's in the pool.
In the GD
Phantom Menace
pool.
Is this guy's problem.
But yeah, that's what the gift was, and is the chance at redemption because Quinlan was smart enough to bring her there.
Yeah, but even if he, he had to bring her there, and I don't know if he knew that was going to happen when he brought her there.
Probably. No, he did. He didn't know.
It's the gift of redemption that is the gift that he gave her. It's the gift of her like returning to the light.
Great transition point here by Chad. I think about
So
what are they doing with Assajj? And when we were watching this, I was like, oh, I want to see more adventures of Assajj and Lyco. I think that's Dingus McGee. Is it Lyco? Lyco Strata?
Lyco Strata.
So
that sounds familiar.
I love their camaraderie. I love their
I like him.
Friendship.
I know a lot of people were like making fun of him and like being like, "Oh, this guy sucks," but I like him.
He's season 1 Ezra.
He's Ezra.
And
he's naive, but he's like good.
It's like Kanan and Ezra almost, except Assajj is way darker than Kanan, but you know.
He's a little bit less cynical than season 1 Ezra, because he's a Jedi. Like,
Yeah.
he's like a
Yeah.
full-on, like, oh,
True.
these people are in trouble. We can't just leave them. I'm going to do something stupid to save them, while she's like, oh, leave them alone. You know, that kind of thing. Ezra would do that, but only if you were from Lothal. You know,
Yeah.
in season 1, he wouldn't care about you if you were someone else.
So like,
the point I was getting to from Chad there was, I'm watching this and I'm like, oh, I want more of this. And Jamie brings up, like, of course I know the Maul show's coming, but for some reason I'm like, oh, Assajj isn't going to be in that, but of course she'll be in that.
Yeah, she'll definitely
Like,
be in that.
Maul, Assajj, like, come on.
I mean, the fact that we had this little series called Tales of the Underworld was just like a tease of, hey, you remember the Underworld and the bounty hunters and all the other things? Well, guess what? We're giving you more of that with the Maul show, which is literally going to be like Crimson Dawn and like Underworld business and all of that.
They have literally told us that they've adapted storylines from the canceled Underworld TV series from before the Disney acquisition for Maul Shadow Lord. So can't get any more Underworld than adapting things from a show called Underworld.
And like, it's just funny with like a statement that's just like, it feels kind of pointless to bring her back. And it's like, hey, I'll take any sort of like random like story arc for like these people. I mean, as we were watching it last night, I was thinking about it as like a comic arc. Like, I love the current run of Jedi Knights. It's been like 5 or 6 issues so far, and like half of them are like a cohesive story of what's happening currently, but then like 2 or 3 issues are just like standalone. Oh, here's what like Yaddle and this other new Jedi at the time are like doing. Here's what like Jango Fett is doing, in which he runs into another Jedi, and it's just like that. Those are fun little isolated things, and so like think of it like that.
That's Tales of the Jedi.
Isolated stories, yeah. Like, I mean, I wish that they were like that. Like the recent Jedi Knights comic run like is really good. Like they're fun little stories.
The comics are going off right now.
They are. They really are.
They really are right now.
Kylo comic is great. Jedi Knight is great.
New Afra.
New Afra. New Star Wars.
The Star Wars 2025 series is good. Is also good.
You read the new Star Wars comic? You know, the one that's just called Star Wars?
Yeah, Star Wars 2025.
Where were we? Where were we in the show? Oh, so
we're still on literally Ventress coming back at the beginning.
The point of bringing her back.
The point of bringing her back, and she shows up in Bad Batch, of course. So Jamie and I kept talking about, do we think that was after the show or before? And I don't remember where we landed on.
But well,
I think it's before.
I remember you asked.
Lyco's not with her, yeah.
Yeah. So you asked me when we were in the middle of the rewatch, and I forgot how the episodes ended. Yeah, since Lyco is not with her on Pabu, that means that this definitely happened before.
Yeah. Unless Lyco's off taking a whiz somewhere or something.
The entire time. She told him to stay on the ship.
It's a long whiz.
Look, if there was another kid like on that ship, Omega would have sussed him out and been yo,
big time.
Who else is here? She would have been best friends with him within like a half hour. Okay.
Yeah, no kidding. Like, no, there's no, for sure.
So there's no way. So this definitely happened like after the Bad Batch, but that makes sense because when we see Ventress in whatever she's doing, like security work for this woman who absolutely sells her out immediately.
Yeah, she finally got a damn job.
Talk about scum in the galaxy.
Oh yeah,
she sounded like Carrie Fisher.
He did sound like Fisher. She's definitely just doing like odd jobs and staying off the radar, but still like maintaining her like underworld contacts, and so like it all just fully checks out. Like it is what it is.
This episode did a really good job, or should I say this arc? I'm not really talking about this specific episode, but I guess I am. It's just cool to see the Jedi Inquisition. I always like seeing the Jedi Inquisition.
Forgot
not
we
for
had
the Jedi,
but for the Inquisitors.
But I mean, even if like in Inquisition just means like religious persecution. Like the Empire just has a constant Inquisition on the Jedi, no matter if there's an Inquisitor involved or not. Any stormtroopers being like, "Hey, Jedi, shoot them," is an Inquisition, and I don't know. That's probably the most interesting aspect of the Dark Times for me, which is probably like the least surprising thing I could possibly say.
I mean,
Um,
I always wish that they would do some sort of Inquisitorious like show. Like there was like a comic run a while ago.
yeah.
Um,
And
but
Tales of
they've
the Empire sort of touched
yeah,
lightly on that.
but they keep just like adding like flavor of the month Inquisitors and all of these like shows, and it's like
Yeah.
I want to know like more about like what is the actual full process here, because like we get like the one scene with like Barris, but then she's like, I'm out of here like immediately.
Yeah, right.
So
Exactly.
like I wish that like there was more like with all of that. Um, but I agree. I'm glad that we saw like an Inquisitor in it, because it's important for Assajj as well. Even though she wasn't a Jedi throughout the majority of the war, but it is what it
And then
is.
Lyco murks him
Yeah,
with
That
both
was
sabers.
Mm,
That was sick.
yeah, that was brutal and but good.
Yeah. I don't
I'm
know.
sorry.
What's so
I'm
funny?
sorry. I just keep looking at the chat. I have to say, you're trying so hard getting
I know. I'm giving you credit.
What are you talking about? It's automated.
trying so
Oh,
hard to
no.
get the list to like work properly, and we're trying, guys. We are really trying.
So-
with the chat, okay, so thank you for bearing with us.
At any rate, if you're listening, ignore Jamie.
And I know you
And
are.
also, I know you are. I hope you are. So, yes, with the Assajj arc, I mean, this arc was good, but it was kind of that classic Tales nothingness. I hate to say, like, I liked this arc a lot, but like, I don't know, like, what
It
was
was
really
about Assajj
accomplished?
letting go. Assajj
Yeah.
letting
It
go
was.
of the past, saving
And then
a
finding
Jedi
it-
boy.
and then finding a
He couldn't
new
let go.
reason to live.
Well, he let
Yeah.
go because he was like,
Yeah.
I want to be part of the path. I want to do this. I want to do that. And then
He
was
couldn't
like,
let go of her relationship, her friendship with Assajj, her
Yeah.
apprenticeship, whatever we want to call it.
I don't know. If
Yeah,
it
because
was
like he hadn't made any
apprenticeship,
sort
but-
of like a connection with anyone who was force sensitive like since the Order 66, and so it made sense. I don't know.
It's
And
about
so
both
like
of them embracing a new future.
exactly.
This kid, all he knows is Jedi, Jedi, Jedi. I have to join the path. I have to help the Jedi, Jedi, Jedi. Now he can go off with Ventress. They can do their own thing. They don't have to worry. And she's Quinlan. I like Quinlan. I love Quinlan. And then finally she's like, you know what? Forget that guy. And then the two of them ride off and do their own thing. So it's about letting go of the past and embracing a new future.
I agree. I thought that
classic.
I thought they were solid. Like I thought there was some of like the better episodes. Like I just like Ventress as a character. Like I wish more happens, but I agree in the chat as well that they're just micro pilots. That's exactly what they are. It's just hey, we want to do a little bit of a story for this one character, so let's just do like a little and just put it out there.
It's a good way to put it.
It's good. Yeah.
I would say nothing has stuck yet, though, because they haven't really turned anything from Tales into a full-fledged show.
Not that we know of.
Well, I mean,
we don't know we don't know exactly what's going to be in the mall show. Is what I'm getting
right.
at.
These could be the thing, and we talked about Assajj being in Shadow Lord, but Cad Bane could be too. So as I remember him dying, and I'm like, wait, that's later on. So
that's way later on. Before we get on to Cad Bane, the most action packed part of the Assajj episodes is we get to see Latsurazi again.
Yeah.
I love Latsurazi. This is like one-off like bounty hunter from the Clone Wars. She's in like maybe like 2 arcs at most. She's just so cool. She is just such a cool bounty hunter, like
very
purple
cool,
feeling with like a boa that's made of like knives and just like insane. And I loved her droid in these episodes as well. Such character for just like making like gurgling noises.
He was just grunting up a storm.
It was a great droid. But I loved seeing her come back and be one of Assajj's connections, and it was just a very cool like making the big galaxy smaller again. I'm just like, all right, well, hey, remember this bounty hunter? They're still around, and I think that it's just that goes to show that she could also show up again in the new mall show. So
I did. That was probably one of my favorite moments watching that, because so we were in Disney World. It was me and my friend Zach, and we were watching Tales of the Underworld, and my girlfriend Katie, who doesn't know a ton about Star Wars, had just watched the prequel trilogy. We had just finished showing her the prequel trilogy, and that's it. She sat down next to me, and she's watching them with us, and of course she has no clue what the hell's going on. And Lats Razzie pops up, and I just turn to Zach and I go, "Ooh, Lats Razzie," and she looks at me like, "What? What the hell is that combination of words you just said? What?"
Lats Razzie is such a Glupshido name.
It's such a
Can we just
Glupshido
say
name. It's so good. Lats Razzie is literally what they should have used instead of Glupshido for that meme, because it's equally unbelievable that somebody could be named Lats
it's the
Razzie
epitome
or
of that
Lats
though.
Razzie.
Like
It is.
when the poster or like the trailer like dropped for Tales of the Underworld, I remember it was me and like one other person who were like, "Oh my god, was that actually Lats Razzie?" And we were like,
Ooh.
"There's ain't no way! Holy smokes!"
I'm
Lats
surprised
Razzie
you can
fan
remember
club.
Lats Razzie.
Okay, the only reason I remember her is because she's a female bounty hunter in Star Wars. You know, still is a very short list. Okay, and like
Yeah.
It's her.
she was purple. Of course, I'm gonna
Devil
remember her.
Lompop.
Devil Lompop,
Yeah, but
Fennec, Assajj, Orsing,
it's Aura Singh.
Cage
That's what I was
Vanda.
thinking of.
Like, oh my god,
Who?
just the girl that's in Jedi Survivor, the Nautilin,
My
Cage.
favorite.
She's I love
awesome.
Cage so much. Anyway.
Don't forget
So-
Boosh. But
Yes.
only.
Razzie
But
Although-
only
has
Leia.
very Poison Ivy vibes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Incredibly.
She's very planty.
Incredibly.
Planty.
Looks like she
planty.
enjoys a good flower.
Yeah. So looks like she
K-Bass.
is
Anyway.
a good flower.
I guess she's a bounty hunter. Not quite. She's an outlaw.
Bounty Hunter
She's trying.
parallel adjacent.
I mean,
She's
if
trying.
I'm doing bounties in the game, then she's a bounty hunter. So
Yeah, there you
she's
go.
trying.
It counts.
I think
So
Anyway.
we get to meet this like old hermit guy on this desert planet that's fighting over water with these turtles.
Yep. Yep.
And he's
Yep.
a former this was one of my favorite parts of the arc, actually. He was a former separatist. That stuff's always cool to see. And he's like, we were right. Or he still is, I guess, in a way. But he's like, we were right. We were on the right side of the war.
I like calling them former Confederates because it's funnier.
That is what they are, though.
Yeah, they were the Confederacy of Independent Systems.
And I don't know. On the rewatch last night, I think he reaches. I don't know if he has a blaster or a lightsaber.
I think he has a blaster. I don't think he has a lightsaber.
But he
I don't
talks
know.
about like following Dooku, not following Dooku, but I don't know. I don't know what this guy's position was, nor does it
this
really
a Christopher
matter.
Lloyd situation where you had the Dookuists, you had like the baby Dookuists who just like love
Maybe.
Count Dooku and are like, he was right. This is like they're like
Remember
the
that?
people who worship General Lee.
I
They're
think
former
that like this guy like
Confederates.
pretty much was that. So
Yeah.
He had all of his medals up there, and like his granddaughter or whoever living with him.
Yeah, he was literally giving off like
What
Beauregard
if he had, like, a
T.
Dooku-
Jones vibes, like very, very like Southern Lost Cause.
Because I know who that is.
It's nobody. I mean, it's a made up name.
Okay.
Um,
Could have fooled me. But he has like a Count Dooku poster in his kitchen there.
yeah,
But yeah, no, he was a cool character to have in there. And then he makes peace with the frogs or the turtles, whatever they were, when they find out that the water would actually belong to them, and they're all happy. Assajj brings Lyko over to the ship for the path, and I don't. How do you guys feel about him coming back?
I think that's integral to the theme of the entire arc.
I didn't really have too many thoughts about it in general because I was just like, oh well. This is just like setting up Ventress for like her like future, but like everything that Matt said a few minutes ago of it literally just is.
Yeah, that's great, Corey. The CIS will rise again. Jesus.
Wow. Anyway, it's so on the nose, guys.
It is. It literally
so
is.
on the nose. But everything that Matt said a few minutes ago about is just redemption and the chance at something new and the chance at this is what you're meant to be and the new start and everything. And so I don't know. He's just a kid. That's all it is.
Yeah.
We love a good like a kid learning how to use the Force in Star Wars and just like exploring the galaxy around them.
It's about healing and moving past, moving from the past. Even our Confederate guy was the same sort of thing. He's like stuck on Dooku, and then eventually he learns to embrace a new path and drink water again, which is integral, which is vital.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what do we? My favorite part of the ending was the beast thing that she was riding.
Oh yeah, the like
Huge
camel.
jaw. That thing was awesome.
Yeah, huge jaw. Yeah, it was fun. I don't
So
know
what do
what kind
we
of
what do we
creatures
grade
this
this
was.
episode on 1 to 10?
We talking about arcs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do
yeah,
as
the arc.
as
Sorry,
the arc.
I give it a 7. I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
that's where I was. That's where I was.
I probably do like 7.5,
Okay.
Whoa!
just for the very first scene.
7.1.
For
True.
the
The first
very
scene's like a
first.
10. I mean,
That's
Um,
true.
yeah. So if we outweigh everything else, but I'm glad to see her back, and I knew that like the moment she showed up in the Bad Batch, there was going to be at least like more about how she came back at least, and so I'm glad we got to actually see her coming back, and it wasn't just she died in a book and she came back off screen. I'm glad we got to see her coming
Yeah.
back, and then a little bit of and here's what she's doing now. So
Wow, you nailed
yeah,
it. That's
thank
exactly
you.
what happened.
Uh-huh.
So we got 2 7s and a 7.5.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. So let's talk about Cad Bane, which I think
Who?
this
Yeah.
was unbelievable. This arc was great. I didn't expect it. I love Cad Bane, but I didn't really expect this arc. We get Space Chicago, basically.
Yeah, the L
Space
tracks the
Chicago.
entire time. Like
Yeah.
the moment they like first did the establishing shot of this planet, which I don't remember if they actually said the name of it. But it literally just like looks like the under of like the L tracks, and I'm like,
You
what
got the
is
L
this?
train. Yeah. It was like 1920s Chicago. Cad Bane
Literally.
is like accent too.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude, what the hell? That was okay. That kind of pissed me off. Colby. First of all, you didn't give him his accent. You didn't give him his name. How the hell am I supposed to know this guy's Cad Bane?
Well,
You can tell. But
yeah, I mean, like street rat, and then a guy that like is like highly impressionable, like on him, and that's just like what he models like his entire like life after from there. Because like the guy like in a backwards way saved him, even though it makes sense. It was very
I almost forgot.
hey, we changed it to the blue for our subtitles. Nice.
you did it. You remembered.
Remembered. Congratulations. Wow. Anyway, I don't remember where it was.
Cad Bane, Chicago, Scum.
That does not help me.
The
in
toy
the
shop.
slightest.
Well, okay, so we got Cad Bane, known as Colby, and his friend Nero, best friends, really cute, like just two kind of homeless kids running around and doing what they can, having fun. Like they're running around like laughing.
I know they are the epitome of
It was a cool little relationship. I mean,
Two kids.
innocence of childhood. Ooh, we had each other. We're in the streets.
they
We're
get
having fun.
they get a coin from this random guy with a toothpick. I don't know if he had a toothpick, but
He did.
that looked like Cad
Yeah.
Bane, and they spend it on candy. Like that's amazing.
Yeah, that's kids.
Yeah.
It's exactly them.
They go into that shop, and the shopkeeper hated them.
Yeah, he's a jerk. I mean, they
they-
probably stole from him 10 million times, but they're
Yeah,
kids.
Like,
Leave
it
them
was
alone.
literally Chicago, and 1920s like back room stuff going on. They had the back room parlor back
Yeah,
there,
the gambling room.
Yeah,
the speakeasy or whatever was going on in there.
yeah. Which is kind of funny because obviously, well, I'll talk about this later when we get to it. But Cad Bane is mostly like a Western guy, very Western,
really?
not just like From the Desert Comes a Stranger, but also like his whole look was based on Lee Van Cleef from The Good,
Yeah.
the Bad, and the Ugly. He's just
From
he's
Escape
Angel
from New York.
Eyes. Yeah, and
Yeah.
now we're going forward to the 1920s. So
It works
It's
though. A
weird that we're
cowboy in
going,
the
like-
1920s. It's Red Dead Redemption in Blackwater.
actually,
or
yeah.
something.
There's
Actually,
oh my god. We'll talk more about like references as it progresses, but like
It was great.
So
I mean,
it was
the
really
first
good.
episode alone, I was like, all right, this is awesome. I don't care what the rest of it does. Like that worked. That was a good episode.
See, like, yeah, the thing with like this episode for like the first episode for the Cad Bane arc was like its own little isolated story of hey, here's these two kids living rough on the street. They always go into this one shop and there's gambling going in the background. Stranger walks into town and is just like, something's going on there. Hires the kids to cause a scene. They break up what's going on in the back room, kill everyone, and then one kid gets booked and one gets a chance at a new life. That's great. That's
that's a
Nero
classic.
getting
a little
booked
story
was-
right there.
It was sad. Nero getting booked and like his eyes kind of
Yeah, it was
opened
the
up
betrayal.
as Colby Cad betrayed him. But like, what was he supposed
Yeah.
to do? Like, he would have. There was like a million droids around. He would have got caught
So
too.
you get arrested with your friend. You both go down together.
And they both
You're in
become
the-
cops.
You're ride or die.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Or
I
you
mean
just
that
fight
was
all the droids.
the choice
that
in that moment of that changed his entire life, you know?
I Blue Dead Redemption. I very good Corey. Corey's on point tonight with
Beautiful.
all
Dude,
these.
Corey might as well be on the show. We'll just have
Yeah.
him we'll just have him do it from now on.
So this little arc this episode I should say was great. It gave me vibes of the Batman animated series. I don't know why. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
because it looked like Chicago, looked like Gotham. It felt like, I don't know. It gave me vibes of that episode we like a lot with the train running over the
Hey,
guy.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
never
It
too
felt like
late.
that or something. I
Yeah,
don't
never
know.
too late. It's literally that, right?
Yeah.
The two kids. One
Yeah, it
grows up to
was.
be a priest, one grows up to be a
A
crime
mob
lord.
guy.
It
Yeah.
Yeah.
was that.
I
Oh,
It made
I
man.
mean, nice observation, but yeah.
Lucasfilm,
Something
if you're
clicked.
listening, and you might be, was this episode inspired by the Batman animated series episode Never Too Late?
Lucasfilm, if you're watching
We
Batman the
want to
animated
know.
series, and I know you are.
Has Lucasfilm Animation been inspired by Batman the animated series? Who would have thought?
Probably only this one
Not
time
Superman.
and never again. Definitely
It's
not
probably
Superman.
also been inspired by.
Probably.
Anyway,
Let's be
um,
real.
wow.
So in the second episode of the arc, with years later, we see Cad fully, as Cad now. Or do they call him Colby?
He's
Or is he
Cad.
He's
He's
Cad,
Cad.
I think.
He's
He's
in
Cad.
the family, as they're pulling away at the last episode in that limo, the whole gang. Oh, welcome to the family, pal. And he gives them like the coins. So he's in there, and then Laszlo is the head honcho there, the Slimo we find out about.
Yeah.
He heads off on a mission, and the ship comes back like on fire. Everyone's dead. They find out Laszlo got murked by a marshal, a lawman.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love how they made a point of referring to them as the lawman instead of like anything like different. And it's just like, oh, let's just make it like more like Western from here.
It's just Western. Like
It is just Western.
The co-pilot manages to return with like Laszlo's hat, and like that's it. Like that proof of death, his hat.
He's able to crash land the ship, tell Cad Bane that the guy died by
The
a
marshal
lawman,
killed him.
then dies.
Dude, that's how I want to go. That's exactly how I want to go.
Yeah, so like this is like late teens, early 20s at most, like Cad Bane, because he has like the not quite like gravelly voice yet, which is just so funny to hear. The
What's
not
his name?
quite fully Cad Bane voice, but
Yeah.
almost. It was just really unique and really funny.
So he's out for revenge, of course, because it's the Western.
Yep.
And it's Star Wars. And he heads back to the planet where he's from, which I don't know if we know the name. And it looks like crap. So like my favorite other thing about this arc was part one, the city looked all right. Like it showed families, a lot of aliens. I don't really know what that signifies, but a lot of aliens,
It's
families,
a lot of
people
mix.
walking around, but somewhat rough. Like there's a toy store, so it was okay, but the back room of the toy store was, like
it's Duro. The planet
was
is Duro.
I mean, that
Was
makes
it
sense. 'Cause
actually Duro?
There was
It
Duros everywhere. So.
It was majority Duros people, so that makes sense. Okay,
Yeah.
now we know.
Okay, so that makes sense. So
I swear we rewatched this, but
wait,
I
we
don't think it ever
rewatched
says.
It
I don't
doesn't
think it
say
ever
it.
says like, "Oh, Planet Duro." No,
no.
like,
But there's a lot of Duros, so that would make sense. So
Yeah.
I like the evolution of we'll call it this neighborhood through these 3 episodes, because the first one, as I was saying, it looks all right. It looks, a bit run down, but not terrible. The second episode looks awful. The place is boarded up from when it blew up episodes ago, the previous episode years ago. And it's really sketchy. And then, not to jump ahead, but in the third episode, it looks very nice, redeveloped. There's like a park. There's a lot of families. It's still like a little sketchy, of course, but it looks nice. It's like the Boston Big Dig, like they took down the freeway and put a park down.
there you go.
For good and bad.
Yeah, so I loved that touch. That was just another really nice touch that put this episode over this arc. I keep saying episode. This arc over the top for me. But we find out Colby Cad is revisiting his old neighborhood, and Nero shows up, and he's now a cop. He's now a deputy,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and they have a nice bro hug, and it's very cool. And he's like, "Wait, you're a cop now? You son of a bitch!" And yeah,
That's like literally what happens though. I think that the other thing to highlight is Cad is walking around with his fellow Duros interest there, Aaron.
Fellow Duros interest.
Well, they're not quite a couple, but they definitely
No.
like are.
oh, they're a couple. They produced
yes.
a baby.
Yes.
They produced a baby. Man, this is getting good.
The Duros interest produced a baby.
The
Insightful
Duros interest
commentary.
produced a baby. Beep beep.
I gotta say, before they did any sort of reveal, like, we have a future, that she literally walks through like the doors of like the ship, like, you know, holding her like stomach. That's like the telltale, like, the woman is pregnant. She's
Women
holding.
can't hold their stomach unless they're pregnant.
No,
We all
God
know
forbid
that.
they're sick.
Nope.
Like,
Dude,
oh, it always like the moment
Literally
she did that, I'm
anytime.
sitting there, I'm like, oh, she's pregnant. Like,
anytime
immediately.
there's a show where anybody coughs, you can never cough in a show or you're dying. Like, it literally, like, it pisses me off to no end.
Blue
One
Dead
cough.
Redemption.
Hey there, black lung.
Dude,
Hey there, blue
honestly.
lung.
Oh my god. But yeah, can't.
You know, I will say, I wish that this arc showed us how Cad Bane got his like respirators, though. I feel like that
I know,
was
that's kind of funny.
explaining.
I was expecting him to like encounter a Jedi and then the Jedi to be like, and then
I
he'd
think
be
that's
like,
something that
"Again."
needs explaining. I like
And
how
then
he
he
got this
coughs.
little tragic backstory with his friend,
He can't cough.
but like, how did
I know,
like
They
That's
added so much to Cad Bane's lore, but they didn't explain the already
not
established like special lore that hasn't really been explored yet. Yeah, it's
how
funny.
did he? Where did he get this little rat of a droid, Toto? Like, where did he
Yeah.
come from?
I mean,
Like,
yeah.
we kind of, God,
God
forbid,
a woman
a
have a
woman
little
had a big deal.
indigestion
Like, come
or
on, like, it
diarrhea.
bothers me
Come
so
on.
much.
They had some bad
Anyway.
airline food on the way to Duros or on the way to Duro.
She's like, "Damn, I'm pregnant." Bad
not
airline
bad.
food.
But yeah, so the second episode is Nero showing up and saying, "Hey, like, I'm helping to revitalize the city, and it's really good to see you. But like, I hope that things like don't turn out the way that I'm expecting them to turn out, because it looks like you're not here for a good reason." And like, he can already tell that Cad, formerly known as Colby, is not good news, like, at all.
He's holstering a gun. I mean,
Yeah, I also
Well,
thought
so
it was.
So is Nero.
Yes,
about
because
that.
he's on duty. He's on duty. So I
Hey,
thought
he's a
something that
bounty
was
hunter. He works for the
Cad
law
should have
too.
been. Cad should have been like, "Oh, I'm also a cop. Good to see you."
good to see
Dude,
you,
literally, right?
my brother. Like,
On
I'm such a
vacation.
people pleaser. That's what I would do.
how do you
He'd be
do,
like, "How are you?"
fellow
And I'd be like,
man?
How do you do,
"I'm a
fellow
good
cop?
guy." That's what they all say. Yeah, I know that.
I find it super interesting that they make such of a point of showing in this arc the marshal and the deputy locking away their weapons in like the gun locker in the office, and with all like the droids as well. Like, they make it there was like an excessive amount of like, hey, we're locking away all the guns, just so you
That
know how
police
safe
station
this neighborhood is.
was awesome. They had the
It
coffee
was.
mugs. They had legit coffee mugs.
Yep.
They had the guns in the lockers. Like, it
Yep.
was great.
Two
it was
two
Precinct
desks,
13.
but
It
much
literally
better.
was.
A working receptionist that's a droid, like, taking information. Like, it was good. It was really cool, and it was another really interesting like slice of life of within the Star Wars galaxy that we usually
This
don't get
arc
to
was
see.
so rich. It had it all. It had it all.
It had Duros interests. It had offspring
Crunchies.
producing offsprings.
Yeah.
It had
just
crunchies,
Coffee mugs.
Crunchies. Don't even
like
get me started.
some Mantelmix type candy business. That's what that was. Like, that was fun.
Hell
Little
yeah.
plush animals everywhere, like in the alley when the kids are sleeping, and then for sale. Good stuff. Right. So
So Cad Bane blows up the already blown up toy shop
mhm.
to draw in the marshal, who he's getting revenge on for killing his boy Laszlo there, his father figure Laszlo, I guess we call him.
Yeah.
And he gets revenge. We have a nice little, of course, it's Cad Bane. We have a nice little Western standoff with all the camera angles of the holsters and the
whole thing.
the face off, and
You gotta.
So nice.
This was really well done though, because it shows them shoot, very close draw, and Cad Bane dodges the shot, I think, and then and is able to hit the marshal and kill him. But then we find out that Aaron was also drawn in from the explosion that Cad Bane set, worried about him. She gets hit from the marshal, so the marshal's now killed Laszlo and now Aaron. Although,
well, he doesn't kill her. It's just a really, really rough wound. Yeah.
But she dies off screen later, which is an interesting choice. But anywho,
we love fridging.
Let's not. Yeah. And yeah, the Nero. I love how she is the reason, unfortunately, that Cad Bane like goes to jail, because she's like, you don't need to do this. We have a future, and it's just like, oh, and then she throws the gun away. So he doesn't even get the chance to like try to take out Nero at the time. And that's huge that she even was brave enough to do that, and I'm really glad that she was. Although
that was really cool.
Nero is, glad at first, and then not that glad.
Well, let me tell you, thinking about it after this episode, Cad Bane has never lost a shoot off ever.
He's good at what he does.
Did he lose to Boba?
No, he beats Boba, and then Boba punches him. And then they get into like a fist fight, and then he gets stabbed in the chest. But he shoots the shit out of Boba. He shoots the shit out of everybody, dude.
Undefeated.
He's literally undefeated. Showdown show-off champion. Like you can't beat Cad Bane. And I think I realized that in Book of
Comeback
Boba Fett,
Cad,
because they had Boba and Cad like line up, and then Cad still wins, and I was like, Jesus! But he like obviously shoots like the Beskar armor, so but like Cad Bane, he just can't be beat, cannot be beat.
I gotta do a Book of Boba rewatch. Like a full rewatch.
Yeah, the full rewatch, not just from The Desert Comes a Stranger.
Yeah, not just the one episode. Guilty. One or two episodes.
One episode we all always
constantly
watch.
guilty.
I'm gonna do a From a Desert Comes a Stranger rewatch.
Yeah.
Wild move. So Cad's off to jail, and I don't know how I feel about this. Nero, who's like the hero of he's the good guy of the story.
Nero's the hero,
and Aaron, formerly Cad Bane's partner, Ventress, lady friend, joins Nero, because gets married with Nero, and it's like we don't get to see that relationship. It's weird though, right? Isn't it? It's like it's a little weird.
Yeah, I mean it is weird, but at the same time, it's Cad's story.
Weird. It's weird in the sense of it's like a dick move, is what I mean.
Yeah, I mean
move.
like
huge dick move.
This seems like something
because of him.
This also seems like it's some sort of like plot out of like a classic Western, like as well, of like, this guy like goes to jail, and like I'll take care of your like wife and significant other because like I'm your best friend, and oh no, I fell in love with her, and meanwhile, oh no, she died, and I'm raising your son. Like,
well, let me tell you, episode 3 is literally just High Noon. Have you ever seen High Noon?
High Noon. Also,
310 to
Yuma. 310 to Yuma.
310 to Yuma, which I think is also kind of based on
pretty much High Noon.
Probably. Time, Westerns.
The clocks. They explicitly say the ship is coming in at 12 o'clock. Hello?
How?
High Noon. Like, what are we doing? Star Wars.
How often in Star Wars do we get a clock?
Not that often.
Clocks. We got clocks. Like we got a watch that said 11 o'clock on it. Like, when does that happen?
That's true. And what was I going to say? For some reason, I've recently noticed, because I've been listening to one of the High Republic books lately. They're called chronos.
Yeah.
The clocks, they're not called clocks. They're called
chronometer.
Chronometers and chronos. I never
Chrono-Johns.
Put that together. Chrono-John. What is that?
Yeah.
From Day of the Tentacle.
Another Lucasfilm.
It's a toilet that goes back in time.
Exactly what you think. Adventure game from the it's
LucasArts, not Lucasfilm.
Yeah. Sorry, LucasArts. Lucasfilm, you got us again. Anyway, but yeah, so they show literally ticking clock, which is obviously always a trope in it. But this one was so explicitly High Noon, 310 to Yuma, classic Western of this guy's guess who's coming to town, Cad Bane, and like it's
coming to town.
Like I can't believe it.
Coming to dinner.
Like
it's Cad Bane.
You found that so quickly.
Holy
had it ready.
Hell.
That's Hoagie.
Oh my god.
You're gonna play this game, Matt.
I gotta play all these friggin' games.
The LucasArts adventure games are so good. So AJ just brought up a picture of one of the characters whose name is Hoagie, and it's 2 outhouses and the Chronojon, which is a time machine.
Jesus Christ.
It's a great little game. It's a lot of fun.
We'll play them. We'll stream them.
Okay.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh.
Whoa.
At any
Right
rate,
after we finish the Phantom
Corey
Menace
knows.
video game. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
So,
Oh man,
where were we? Chronojon's, Duros interests.
we were just talking about the clock in
Right. Yeah, the
the-
clock. I was blown away by
yeah,
the clocks.
analog.
How often do we see clocks in Star Wars?
We don't,
Very
we
rarely.
don't really.
Or Chronos.
Chronos.
I think it's a dick move for Nero to get together with. It's a dick move.
Yeah.
I don't. I strongly disagree.
But that's his friend's.
That's his friend's girl, and his friend is a jerk who basically got her shot. No,
I
she
mean,
shouldn't
like,
be with him.
hey.
This isn't.
Chat, how do we feel?
the
Whose
unfortunate
side are
part.
we on?
The
Chat,
unfortunate
agree
part
with
of this is we don't know Erin's side of it. Like, we don't know how she feels. She may have been the one to start the relationship for all we know. I don't know. I mean,
Is that a
she
dick move by
died.
her?
No, it's not a thing
you-
by
you-
anybody.
You just watched someone murder someone in cold blood for revenge for like literally no reason after you told them, "Hey, don't do it," and they went
Literally.
and did it. And it's
And
just
then
like,
they got
"Man,
you shot.
I don't want to be with that person anymore.
You got
I think
shot
that
because
she's
of them.
well
Do you think
within
they-
her right to move
Do you think
on.
they got together because of the situation? Like, okay,
Yes.
we both had this trauma of witnessing
Yeah.
this. We both
That's
knew
also
Chad,
very
and he's
common
kind of became
trope.
an ass.
Yeah.
This was like a Hallmark Christmas movie subplot of like
It's like a western.
It's
is
no,
very-
very
it's a western combined with a Hallmark Christmas movie.
Yeah.
simple.
Chad's
Western,
coming back
okay?
to town, just like Chad was saying to the tune of Santa Claus coming to town.
Yeah, yeah.
And these two are together. Erin died off screen somehow because it was like she lives and has the baby, but what, did she die of a broken heart? Like,
I don't know.
Very classic. Very classic
Who
Star Wars
knows?
death. I don't know.
We're never gonna know.
She died, dude. People die. It's what happens. Spoiler alert.
yeah, I guess that makes it more Western that she wasn't around.
Yeah.
Yeah. No women. Very western.
Unfortunate,
No women.
that's true.
No women anymore. Okay, good.
The
Yeah, we're
lawmen and the
western.
bounty hunter gunslingers. All right.
Shout out to Sadie Adler, the
Let's
goat.
go.
The only woman.
The only Western woman. Let's go, Sadie Adler.
and the Quick and the Dead, Sharon Stone. Sharon Stone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I forget.
Great.
The
What's the name of the
Yes.
woman from the first game?
And you know who's the villain in the
Bonnie
Quick and the Dead,
McFarlane?
Matt?
Not not Barney McFarlane, but Bonnie McFarlane in Red Dead 1.
Yes.
Love her.
What were
Who's
you
the
saying, AJ?
And you
Who's
know
the-
who the villain in the Quick and the Dead is? Gene Hackman. We're back where we started.
Lex Luthor, baby. Did he shave his head for this one?
No,
No.
he was a scumbag. So and Abigail.
And Abigail, of course. Of
I mean,
course.
but
You know,
um,
the trope. We list
the
list
trope.
off the 3 women in Red Dead who like matter. They all
Yep.
matter, but like like the big ones. So, anywho, what were you talking about?
Cad Bane coming back to town,
Cad Bane's back in town, baby, and he's got a score to settle.
and his two bozo gang friends
yeah.
are like
I love
farting around,
them.
like, "Oh, he's coming."
They had like
Oh.
the stupidest names too. Like one of them was like
Rip and
Tay
fart or something.
something, and it was no
They
way.
had something like that.
What?
I swear one of them was named Rip.
No.
Could have been. I don't know.
What
I'm
were
gonna
these
find
guys'
out.
names? Now we need to look it up. Oh my god,
It's going to be
the
rip
other-
and fart until you correct it. I'm
That's
just
fine.
warning you now
It's
because
like-
that's too
fine.
good.
Laszlo.
Those are like the two Gamorreans in Book of Boba.
Oh, man.
Stinky and Prickly Pete or
Say
whatever the
word.
heck you
Stinky and
guys named
Prickly
them.
Pete, R.I.P.
Jeez.
What was the
Anyway.
New England thing we talked about?
I have no idea. Apparently it was like 2 seconds ago.
We're gonna talk
Okay,
about
the
New
guys'
England
names,
coded media.
Laszlo's thugs were, you ready for this? Vac Laco and Tay Gruddy.
I was close.
Tay Gruddy, what a name.
Tay Gruddy was the one in the bar with the handlebar
Schrodinger's
mustache.
Rip and fart. Oh, my eyes hurt.
Oh. Corey, I'm
man.
really curious about what you think we're talking about with New England coded media. I'm very curious.
Was
What
it
did
Rip
we
and
talk
fart?
about?
Good old rip and fart.
I don't
The two
remember what
founding
reference
fathers
they dropped.
Boston.
All we talked about was The Quick and the Dead and Red Dead Redemption, and I'm like, neither of those things are New England coded. That's for damn sure, because they don't take place around here for the slightest.
I'd never even heard of The Quick and the Dead until
Oh,
very
it's
recently.
great. Oh, it's so good.
Have you seen it?
No.
Oh, and it involves a clock. Of course, it's a
Huge
Western.
plot point. Huge plot point in that.
All they had
movie.
was guns and clocks back then. I mean, that's what every story was based on.
Oh, that's what it was. Bob's Burgers. That's where I heard of The Quick and the Dead from. It's in an episode of Bob's Burgers. I think it's talked about.
Hallmark.
Hallmark is a New England thing. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, like Hallmark movies, like Christmas movies, is like, oh, the old New England town.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Up in the mountains and whatnot. I guess.
Oh, I get it. I get it. I get it.
I was reading about the molasses flood the other day, actually. Speaking of New
Dude,
England media.
crazy stuff. Should we do a whole episode on that? Should we actually just stop talking about Tales of the
We'll put it on the
Underworld and talk about
Patreon.
the molasses flood?
I'm not
I would do that-
prepared, but
I
I
would do that
could.
for the Patreon.
Guys, there was a tragedy. There was a tragedy in Boston in which I think 9 people died from a molasses flood in the streets. A big old drum of molasses like broke and flooded the streets.
This was over like 125 years
Did
ago.
you say a vein of
People
molasses?
No, he said
As they were like mining it out of like the
Yes.
like the mountain.
They struck a big vein of molasses and it just shot
Like-
up like oil.
Like the Beverly hillbillies, like
Beverly
striking
Hills.
oil.
Yeah, but they struck molasses.
In turn, this is actually why Boston is called Beantown, because of all the molasses and Boston baked beans. Anyway,
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, where are you going with this one?
where am I going with
Almost
this
fell out
one?
of the- almost went through the roof.
This
Anyway.
is why there are so many sticky ghosts in Boston.
Yeah, there you go.
What?
Thank you.
So
Good
Gak Lacko and Tay Gruddy.
night. Tay Gruddy,
Smart.
dude.
So
Don't you hate when you're trying to watch Tales of the Underworld and somebody's hitting the Tay Gruddy in front of you in Fortnite?
Tay Gruddy was Mr. Handlebar Mustache, who was like
Oh my
threatening
God.
Nero in the bar, which was just so funny.
That guy was straight out of Droids. He
Oh,
had a
no!
Kylo Ren.
Guys,
Mungo
guess
Baobab. What?
Guess what? So I'm just on Wikipedia, like looking up about who Tay Gruddy was. His voice actor was Jason Hightower, and he was also the voice of Captain Doza in Resistance.
Oh,
Wow.
baby.
They both had mustaches.
They do.
This guy
It's the
can't play
same
a
guy.
character without a mustache.
It's the same guy.
Holy shit. That's awesome.
That is
no
good.
way. Anyway,
So we're talking about these guys. They show up for at noon. Cad Bane comes in on planet at noon, has the toothpick out, has the hat on, whole outfit, straight out of jail.
Stole that guy's
And-
look. Pulled a full Indiana Jones.
he really did.
He really did. The hat rolling up to him and everything. I mean,
Yep.
And they have a little showdown at the courthouse. I don't know where it was, but it was some
on the
building
front
with
step,
steps
on the front steps of like the
of something.
it was the sheriff's office, the lawman's office.
Yeah.
On the front steps, excuse me, complete with like the kid showing up and being like, "Oh my god, what's happening?"
Oh,
Yeah.
Cowering
kid.
on the front steps, like, oh, what?
That kid
How
was
much more
super
are we gonna
cute,
make this
too.
Western?
I
He
know.
was an adorable little guy.
Oh,
Isaac.
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 What a
What a
terrible,
name.
what a Star Wars name.
Isaac.
Yeah,
It's like
Isaac.
Ezra and
Ezra-
Isaac.
I feel like Ezra is a little like more unique.
It's
I don't know,
just
not
like
unique.
Isaac. You know what?
Isaac
I-
doesn't sound unique at all. It
Guess
sounds like
what?
What?
I choose to believe that they picked the name Isaac because Isaac is the name of Arthur Morgan's son who died
Yeah.
when he was
The-
like
The one
really
quote he has
small.
in the whole game.
It's a reference. Let's make it
Yeah,
a
yeah.
reference.
That's a
I'm
deep cut.
I'm declaring it a reference.
That's a
I-
deeper
I-
cut than the cut they did on the vein of molasses in the streets
Molasses in
of
Boston, 1911, whatever it was. Yeah.
1911.
No. When was the molasses flood?
What should be 1911?
It's
think
not
it was-
1911, but it was close.
1919.
1919.
Way
yeah.
off.
way
Yeah,
off.
totally way off. 8 years. Give me a
For
break.
some reason, I thought it was 1800, late 1800s, but I was
no,
wrong.
it was after World War One, dude.
After the turn of the century, okay?
Imagine
were some
coming back from
machines
World
out
War
there,
One and
then
drowning
you
in
die in
molasses
that.
in the streets of Boston. Damn, dude. Also, there were 21 deaths. Jesus.
Yeah, what were
I
you
said
talking
9 earlier. My God. 21
Uh.
people died in this? That's crazy.
150 injured.
Yeah, but 21 people died.
Guys,
It
we
was
weren't going to talk about this tonight.
2.3 million gallon waves of wave of molasses.
That's unbelievable.
Anywho, the droids get murked on the steps by Rip and Fart, and then it's Cad and Nero are the only ones left.
The characters that are named Rip and Fart, they're not murked by, the act of ripping farts. That needs to be said. Well,
I don't know. I haven't watched it in 2 months. I don't know.
Well,
you need a refresh.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. What are we talking about?
Once again, we get a standoff with Cad Bane, and he's never lost, and he doesn't lose this time.
He can't lose. Dude.
Blows away his best friend.
God, was I hoping that Nero would survive. I was really rooting for this boy. But the thing is he didn't even think he was going to survive. He spends the whole day being like, this is my last day. This is my last day alive. Time to do this. Time to do that. I was like, geez, buddy.
Hey,
way to count yourself out.
I thought he was going to pull like a Alexander Hamilton and like shoot into the air.
Yeah.
But, that would have been a nice touch. But
maybe he wanted to, but he still had the duty to protect the town. So it's not like it was like a duel over a disagreement. It was a duel on behalf of protecting the town
safety.
in a weird way. So,
And then he alludes to Cad's like, hey, you took everything from me. And he's like, not everything. As like the kids looking at him.
The kid's bawling his eyes out and then just looks at him and Cad's just like, oh, that looks like me. Okay.
I have such a soft spot for kids in Star Wars, like babies that are orphaned or whatever happened.
There's a lot of them.
Orphans in Star Wars,
but more so seeing the kid, whether they're kidnapped or like Cad Bane stole them, or Cad Bane killed their parent figure, or Cad Bane did. It's always
freshly orphaned in Star Wars. Classic.
I always get so sad, and the babies always have the biggest, shiniest eyes. I'm like, no,
you can't get any bigger and shinier than Duro's eyes.
This is true.
Although there was a Rodian in Clone Wars, the baby.
That's true.
Those are pretty shiny. But.
Poor Isaac.
And so what do we think happens to Isaac?
He grows up in an orphanage, I guess, or he's raised by...
He becomes the next Marshal.
He's probably raised by whoever the other council member was there who remembered that Isaac was at risk. He remembered the whole backstory, because the entire time Nero was just like, oh, he's just gonna be coming after me. Everyone else just don't worry about it. I got this. He's just gonna be coming after me. And then the rest of the council, that one Duros is just like, oh my God, Isaac, because she remembers the full backstory and she must know the truth that Isaac is Cad Bane's son,
Yeah.
They probably played it off as Isaac was that Nero was Isaac's true father. They played it off that way the entire time. No one in town doubted otherwise. So
yeah.
Definitely.
Isaac.
I'm looking at the cast for these episodes.
I'm sorry, I'm just having a moment of silence for Rip and Fart.
Yeah, they got blown away.
They did.
But Rip and Fart got blown away. Get the hell out of here.
I didn't even mean it like that. But
man.
how do we grade these episodes or this arc?
These are 9s out of 10 for me. This was a 9 out of 10 arc for me.
I'd agree. This is a 9 out of 10 for me as well.
I want to give it a 10 because what for Tales of the whatever series, it's the best one for me.
Yeah, I think I like the Dooku one more, which is probably
Dooku's fantastic. I think Dooku 2 and 3 are very good. The first one with Qui-Gon, I don't know, over the dispute over that town. It was good. That was very Western as well, but
yeah.
I'd give this
3
one...
were just great. Great story.
What's your score?
9.5.
Wow.
Okay.
I'll pull it, Jamie.
Okay. Hey, sure, why not? I'm gonna go with Matt of just 9 out of 10 because
I don't know how it could have been better.
Lightsabers.
No, I honestly, this is stupid, but
if they were actually named Rip and Fart,
yeah,
no.
That would have gone a long way.
Like I mentioned earlier, I wish they included more of how did he get his respirators. I'm dead serious. I wish that was background.
Well, you know why he had those installed.
Honestly, I don't know why he had those
Oh,
installed.
those are to prevent Jedi from force choking him.
See,
He
I
had
didn't know that.
Yeah, he had tubes installed in his throat so that if a Jedi crushes his throat, he could still breathe.
When
Genius.
when when was this
After
like
this episode, he
I
encounters a Jedi that chokes him,
oh,
and he's like, not again.
I gotta,
Not
gotta be
happening
ready for
again."
that.
I don't know. I really enjoyed it though, and I think that it was like my favorite of any of the Tales episodes as well. I don't know. I feel like
What
it
Jedi
could
are
have.
Choking people?
There was like a few more.
Desperate
I don't know.
ones.
Dooku.
They probably encountered an Inquisitor or like, a fallen Jedi between then and now. I mean, it's
Dooku?
funny when they had introduced that bit of lore. It was
I don't know.
implied that he got it before the Clone Wars. So I guess it's still
So like who? Anyway,
possible.
yeah, 9 out of 10.
Fantastic.
It's still really, really
Very
good.
good.
That was a great arc.
Very good.
Really good.
So, begs the question of the thumbnail for this stream. Do we? I've been down on the Tales things, but the Cad Bane arc changes my mind a little bit. But Matt, I was complaining to you on the phone the other day, driving around, and about how I wish these weren't like you get 2 stories per thing. Like I almost wish it was like a certain point of view, like the book from a certain point of view, A New Hope, and all that crap that they do. Love those. I almost wish you got like 10-minute episodes about whatever, and each one was its own story. And it doesn't have to be about a character we know. It can be about Dingus McGee doing whatever, just like in those point of view books. I just don't love the format they've been doing. I just like I don't know I don't know the resources it takes to make these things. I imagine it's a lot to do all this. Would I rather just have them working on like a full-fledged show of a series or something? Like, yeah, I guess. But I love an anthology. I love like a collection of stories.
I agree
like
in
this,
pieces. I agree in pieces of what you're saying. I think that it's just like they
exactly.
want to.
So, sorry.
Yeah.
But to finish my thought, what Hannah is saying, like, if we had a collection of like canon Visions stories, and I love Visions, and it's Matt and I are canon junkies at least, and I'll speak for the both of us with that. But like, I love Visions. It's awesome. I have a blast when it comes out. I enjoy it more than Tales of the Jedi, even with it being the way it is. It's just fun, and you get a lot more content. But I would almost rather just have. I mean, I'll take Visions and take a thing of like Tales of the Jedi, but it's like a Visions lineup of like that amount of stories. They're all canon stories. They follow Cad Bane. They follow Ventress. They follow Joe Schmo. They follow Rip and Fart. Like we get like a bigger thing. Like, I don't know why it has to be such a small dose.
I don't know. I feel like they
presents on my birthday. Save some for Christmas.
I feel
That's what you
maybe
sound like.
wanted to do that at one point in time, and I think that they're still trying to figure out what they want Tales to actually be. Which is funny because it's like, oh, let's just do these like 2 like random episodes with random characters that like are beloved, just to pad them out a little bit more. But I kind of wish that it was more of stories of like really like lesser known characters that don't have that much development. Like honestly, I love Tales of the Jedi, but like we know Ahsoka, we know Dooku. Like, I wish that it was like other random Jedi. Like I love that Dooku's tales included Yaddle because that's one we don't actually have that much like new stuff like about. She shows up in Jedi Knights recently. Her issue was great. Probably one of my favorite ones actually so far. And then
the variant cover I got has the Dooku Yaddle from Tales of the Jedi duel on it.
Exactly. Yeah. That's part of the comic as well. It's like, oh, here's this, but here's what happened before this.
Yeah, it replays that moment.
It's wild.
So the characters they've chosen are Ahsoka, Dooku. I'll say Dooku's a great choice.
Yes.
We get a lot of Dooku, but the Dooku we got in that, getting Jedi Dooku, like good guy Dooku on screen was awesome.
I think that the way that they utilized it was good. That literally padded out a question from like the prequels of like how's Camino deleted out of the archives? Okay, here's Dooku literally doing it. Like here it is.
Tipping Qui-Gon's funeral.
Yeah,
and the day of the Phantom Menace being Qui-Gon's initiation into Dooku's initiation into the dark side. Like literally, Maul is still like crawling on the ground, half dead.
Well, yeah, not
and
best.
Dooku is like, I'm a bad guy now. It's
Yeah.
like perfect.
I guess
Awesome.
I'm the bad guy
Palpatine was
now.
ready to go.
Yeah.
Always.
So and then so we get those guys, and then we get Morgan Elsbeth and Barriss Offee.
Not good
Barriss
choices for Empire.
I like
was
Barriss.
a great choice. They had to do something with that. We were waiting for that. Morgan Elsbeth
But-
was random, but I'll take that. I mean, I would like to know more about her, and there were some moments.
I think that they were both good, but not for Tales of the Empire.
Yeah,
like,
right.
That's what bothered me. Like the Barriss story was great. Like I love how we got more about her, but I wish that was like an Inquisitorius based thing, or further continuation of the Jedi, or Tales of the Force. They could have literally done it that way instead. Tales of the Force instead of the Empire specifically, because like Morgan Elsbeth and the Night Sister business, that's Force. They were
like
both
labeling
barely in the Empire.
I don't even like labeling it Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Empire, Tales of the Underworld. Just have it be like Star Wars Tales Season 1. So
Yeah.
it was like, I don't know, like
it is more
Tales from a
so-
galaxy far,
Story.
far away. Or
Star
It
Wars
is more so
stories,
like that,
whatever.
but yeah. And then we get Ventress and Cad Bane.
Cad Bane, which is a grand slam. I mean,
think
those
they're
are two.
both really good
You can't
choices.
lose with those. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
So yeah,
So like,
interesting.
it's yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I don't mean to sound like a whiner about it, because I don't, whatever Matt was describing
whining.
with all that. But like I'll take it. It's just I wish maybe they'll learn. Maybe they'll be like, okay, let's tweak it and maybe do it this way, or maybe it is like, as Corey said earlier, maybe it is a tryout. I don't know if Dave Filoni said that or not. I know Hannah or Corey or someone mentioned that that's like a tryout for animators or something, which I don't know if that's true, but
yeah, right.
It's the people that are already in Lucasfilm Animation, but like this is them like spearheading their own other bigger projects, and so it's like their tryouts for like the future directors of the future animated series, and then from there, so like it's that kind of thing. And yeah, like they're good, and you can see the quality of them like improving as well. From the beginning of Tales of the Jedi to what we currently have, which is what the goal is the entire time, is you just want to get like the better quality as you keep doing it more and more. And Tales has just gotten better. That being said, I think it's just always going to be this like proving ground of like, oh, here's a few characters we want to talk about. You might see them again. You might not.
You might not.
Yeah, that's a good way.
You know what I can't wait for?
Oh,
Shadow Lord.
Dude, same. Let's get some animated lightsabers on screen again.
Yeah,
let's see it.
It's gonna be great.
I'm actually pretty excited for Shadow Lord.
It's my top project I'm looking forward to by far.
For me, it would be Ahsoka season 2, but that's okay, because Shadow Lord is close second.
We'll have to talk about this another time, but I am drawing an almost like complete blank on like the future projects. But I am very excited for Maul.
Those are pretty much them.
It's Maul, Mandalorian, and Grogu. Ahsoka season 2. That's what we can expect in 2026.
And nice guys in a galaxy far, far away.
Right.
Whatever. Starfighter.
That's 27. I was thinking it was just 26, but you're right. Yeah.
I was thinking of just upcoming things.
Have you guys seen The Nice Guys? Have you guys seen that?
Have you seen that movie?
We actually watched it on 4th of July.
You did?
A week ago.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. But have you seen
it? No, I just listened to it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's a great one. Anybody out there hasn't seen it, go see it. You've heard enough of it from me.
Well, this was our Tales of the Underworld recap. Somehow we managed to talk about this for an hour and a half.
Yeah. I am not excited for Zero Company, but I'm glad some people are.
Oh, wait, that's a new turn-based game, right?
Yeah, it's an RTS.
Yeah.
I'll play it. I'll give it a shot.
That'll be good. That'll be great. Cool.
Matt cutting off Jamie's outro.
Sorry.
That's okay. I didn't know if there was anything else you guys were talking about, so I was just like, let me just...
No, I mean, I think we just systematically get to an hour and a half. It's just like, it clicks.
Wrap up the stream?
And we get to an hour and a half.
Let's end the stream. We'll catch you guys again in a couple weeks. We'll be back with more Star Wars nonsense. Maybe we'll do a molasses stream sometime. I don't know. We'll let you know if we are. This has been the Holiday Marauders. Thank you guys, everybody, for joining us tonight in the chat and hanging out with us. Thank you, everybody who's been listening along the way on the audio version. Catch us on YouTube if you listen to the audio version. If you watch it on YouTube, listen to us again tomorrow in the audio version. Okay? Cool. See you there. Bye, everybody.